Welcome back. Take a look at these two cute puppies. You'd never think they could be double trouble, but trust me, they can be. And dog trainer Catherine Newman is here to tell us why adopting two puppies from the same litter can be more challenging than you might think. I never would have guessed.
Most people don't, and quite frankly, a lot of people, they go and they get a puppy and they think, gosh, we'll get a second as a companion, and really it's a bad idea.
Bad idea. Not a bad idea with cats, but with dogs, I suppose. And why the same litter? That's more problematic than just getting two different puppies?
It is, simply because you have what I call the twinning effect. You'll have one puppy that becomes very outgoing, very dominant, can even bully his litter mate, and then the other puppy becomes very shy, hangs back, and so training issues are a problem, but then also when you go to separate them, they're completely dysfunctional. So it's very similar to having human twins. You want to make sure they grow up to have different personalities, and because it's such a challenge, we generally recommend that if you're going to get two dogs, space them a minimum of 2 years apart.
Space them a minimum of 2 years apart. And again, why is that?
Well, because what ends up happening, again, is that the puppies bond more with one another than they bond with their humans. So first of all, from a training perspective, that's bad, because you want your puppy to look to you as the natural leader. You want to make sure that they're bonded with you and they look to you for social reinforcement. The other also thing is that, again, you will have one puppy that will become very shy, very dysfunctional, and they won't have great coping skills, so we don't want that. But now and again, people get puppies from the same litter, or they have two different dogs that are about a month apart in age. And so this is the advice that we give to people that make this decision. First of all, if you're going to crate them, which I recommend, crate them in separate rooms. And therefore, they learn to be separate, they learn to function separately away from one another. Also, work with each puppy individually for a minimum of an hour a day. That way they develop their own personalities and they look to you for social contact. And then clearly, if you're running errands, going different places, take the puppies out individually. So if they become frightened, instead of looking to each other for comfort, they look to you for guidance and to make sure that they know how to handle the situation appropriately.
Okay, well, let's go over these tips again. All right, first of all, crate the dogs in separate rooms.
Yes, absolutely, so they learn to stand on their own 2 feet.
Okay.
Or own 4 feet. Yeah.
And during the day, while at home, crate one puppy while bonding with the other. Very important.
Very, very important. You cannot raise 2 dogs from the same litter functionally without doing that. And so what I do, if we run into this with a client, they'll say, okay, crate puppy A from 9 to 11 in the morning, and then between 9 and 11 spend time with puppy B, and then switch that schedule in the afternoon so that the puppy that was out in the morning is now kenneled and the puppy that was kenneled is now out.
Okay, so and the important thing is that when puppies are spending time together, they bond more easily with each other than with humans, and that might be cute, but if it's your dog, it's not good for you, right? In terms of training and everything else.
It's horrible for training, because when you take them out to train them, you clearly want to have a positive reinforcement training program in place. Well, if they can get hugs and kisses from each other, they're not going to be too thrilled about your petting. So from a training standpoint, it is very, very difficult. And then the thing to keep in mind too is that at some point in time, one of the puppies is going to go to doggy heaven ahead of the other puppy. Well, the puppy that's remaining, the dog that's remaining at that point in time, that can be a very traumatic experience.
As with most families and siblings, there's a little rivalry, and you know, maybe your big brother picks on little sister, that kind of thing. No exception with dogs, correct?
Exactly, and that's what we worry about, one puppy becoming very dominant, becoming the bully puppy, and you'll see that they just pick on that shyer puppy mercilessly. And then what happens is that when you go to train that dominant puppy, sometimes we have aggression issues, particularly in dogs like Rottweilers, German Shepherds, and Terriers, because they're used to pushing their little buddy around, and then they're like, well, who are you to do this to me? That shyer dog, then the one that is getting bullied, you know, they really lack confidence, so training is very difficult for them. So if you have 2 puppies from the same litter, again, make sure that if one puppy's bullying the other, that you really discipline that bullying puppy and separate them and say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this.
And also train separately.
Absolutely. Because if you have them together when you're training them, it's not going to happen. And housebreaking with 2 young dogs is absolutely horrible. I mean, just when one's done, the other one has to run out, and they just really don't understand what's going on. So you really want that separate time to train them individually.
Okay, we're out of time, but very quickly, what kinds of dogs are these? French Bulldogs?
These are French Bulldogs. They're not a very common breed. They are a great family dog. Their distinguishing characteristics are clearly their heads and their very bat-like ears. Very friendly dogs, have a great zest for life.
Yeah, remarkable resemblance to fruit bats. They are delightful, though. They really are. I don't want to let them go. Well, thank you so much for
You're
being here, as
welcome.
always, and it's a great way to start Monday with
I
these
agree.
little critters here. Well, for more information, you can contact Catherine Newman at Augusta Training Systems. That number is 612-892-0292. Stick around because there is much more to come on Care 11 today. We don't want the dogs to get scared by the band you're about to hear. Up next, when it comes to furnishing a home, don't make a decorating faux pas. Get advice from a pro. And also ahead, we'll talk with the author of this new book about how to de-stress your life and keep it that way. Also, the band Revolver Model is here with the sound of the CW Festival. Stay with us.
Silence lost in the night, slips in the rain. I don't know, I'm not quite 68.